Hey everybody, I wanted to do a little bit of an update on where I'm at. This is mostly going to be on the Aston Martin Airfix kit. Right now I actually got quite a bit of it done. I went with the British green, like the original ones when they first came out, when it was the manufacturer team. They had two of them racing in Miracle Le Mans series at the time, which is now IMSA, and they had a little less decals than what this one has. And I was going to quite a few of the races at the time. I was going to Mid-Ohio and actually got to see them in person, and I really loved the car, the way it looked before, and once I went to the race and actually seen it in action, just the sound that that car produced and the way they looked, it just was a very beautiful race car at the time. Most cars that are in IMSA now and Grand Am and Miracle Le Mans have always been a very nice passion of mine, or a great passion, to actually go and watch them and just get the smell and the sounds, and so I always try to look for a lot of cars like that. And unfortunately for this one, I cannot find a 1/24 scale, so I got the 1/32 scale. I do have a 1/24 scale die cast I've had for quite some time, and it is in the green. And I haven't cleared this yet. The weather's really messing with paint nowadays. But I have a black metallic inside, which is going to be almost impossible to see, but it is also on the sides as well, on the base. But like I talked about in the first one, with the decal going on here, I ended up just cutting out what I could and saved it. This is that decal that would have gone like that, and right where that hole's at, right there, you would have to cut a U shape, and I never really have much luck cutting decals. It's too much of a risk, and I wouldn't have no paint on the sides. So plus I like this style better, the nice green. I got all the decals on the back. Somehow I'm gonna have to find, it didn't come with tow hooks. I'll have to find some real thin styrene, paint it red and put in there, or some tin. But I also put the little decals, the little yellow arrow decals on there. So I still got to clear the body, and now I have to glue the mirrors on in the window, the headlights, and the little antennas. Now one of the antennas did break before I even got it cut out of the tree, so I'm going to take the base, drill a little hole in it, and then put a metal wire coming up. It'll give it more of a realistic view or look as well. So if I pop these apart, so the interior has a lot of cool detail as well for the size. It's got all the buttons, as you can see. And the steering wheel, it's kind of hard for, there we go. Let's see, but like even on the part that brings the steering wheel out, it's got the machined aluminum. I used that old bronze for the dash to make it look like carbon fiber. I also did it on this back section here. I got some seat belts in there painted. The shifter is that machined aluminum too. I'll do a wash in here just to highlight some of the shadows. I'll try to paint all the buttons. I was thinking of running a wire around that steering wheel, but I don't know. I don't think you can see it once I paint the black on the windows and that. It's going to be really hard to see inside. And then on the real car, off this one side here, right in here, you'll have all the wires coming out. There's 3 pods of wires coming out to all that stuff there. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think you're going to see it. But the cool thing about this kit is it does have brakes and calipers in there that you can see. I'll have to do a wash on the wheels. When you zoom in, you can see all the little imperfections, but when you're not zoomed in, you don't really see them. That's the only bad part about using a camera on your builds. It shows stuff that you don't see normally. And then I did that in flat black, so it was a little different. That's that so far. So on the other updates I'm going to talk about, the next build I am doing is a Zagspeed Ford Capri Turbo. I've been watching videos on YouTube on vintage race cars and that, and this one has been coming up quite a bit in my searches. It is a car I never really knew about because it's more of a European race car than that was ever here in the States. So Zagspeed is a German company. They've been known for a lot of racing history, a lot of industrial firsts and their race cars and that. And this car was so cool on the videos, I was like, I wonder if they have a kit out for this. And so I did a Google search, and sure enough, there was a couple of them. There was this one from Tamiya, and then there was one that was twice as much. I don't know if there was a difference in them. I didn't do much research. I just got this one instead. But this one is one that used to have a motor that you can put in it and have the gearbox and all that stuff in it. I was going to reveal this once I had the decals on the body, but the paint is not curing at all. So it's sitting in the purple pond, and at first I was debating not even painting it at all, just putting the decals in plastic and then doing a clear coat. But where I sanded, even when I buffed it, it did not seem like it wanted to be perfect. So if I cleared it, it would look like plastic, and I just didn't want that. I wanted to get more of a solid look, I guess, a painted look, consistent. And the paint just didn't want to cure for me, so as of right now, about the only thing I can show you is the wheels. So I kept the outer ring chrome, the gold. Now the lugs are normally, like in the pictures they have, the lugs are just a normal steel or so like that, but some race cars they would actually do them a bright color so that you can make sure that they're actually on there and they can find them. I'm gonna still do a wash on this, but I think they turned out pretty nice. The kit came with some really good tires. I still have to sand because it still has a mold line, but that ain't no big deal. But on the one side, you got Dunlops, and on the other side you have the Goodyear. Now I was going to use the Dunlop side because you just don't see it that often. But as you can see on the car, it's sponsored by Goodyear. That look awful, or at least it would stand out to me. Goodyear on the car and then be racing Dunlop tires. They don't usually do that, so, but I got the 4 tires painted. I do have quite a bit of the little pieces. There's not a ton of pieces on this kit, but I do have a good amount of the pieces painted. And like I said, I did have the body painted, but it's being stripped right now, along with a couple other parts. And I just saw Sean's video where he was showing Keith, so I'm going to show Keith this too. His Porsche 359. Mine is an AMT kit, which they purchased probably so many of them and put them in a box, but it's got to be the same mold because they look exactly the same. Now this kit is my most hated kit out of all the kits I got. The reason being is I've tried to finish this kit probably about 4 times, and I get looking at it and I kind of get a little mad, and then I just put it right back in the box and not even attempt to finish it. So here's what it looks like. So the wing and all that's still apart, which is a good thing because I'm going to have to strip it. And I don't know if the color is going to show too much on the with the lighting, but it has an off creamy white to it. Yeah, I just hate painting cars white because the way the white paint reacts, it just does not react very well. And I was going to paint it the decals that came in with this kit, which was the Martini ones. And as soon as those hit water, they exploded. So since that went to hell, I was going to use some Bruno's Porsche logos on it, which they raced this car at one time, but their bodies was white with the decals. And just fighting with this white clear, or this white coat, I didn't want to waste my Bruno's Porsche decals on that, so I'm going to use that on a different kit. I got a Revell Germany Porsche 934, which is, I think it's the Jägermeister car, but I'm going to do that Bruno's Porsche because I've seen them guys race quite a few times, and I was there the last race that they did that one year, so they mean more than the Jägermeister one. But here's another reason the paint bled on the black. This part was fine, but somewhere on here it didn't cure and it just rubbed on the body and just looked awful. I think I used a black primer instead of a flat black, and it just smeared. But the paint's nice and smooth. I didn't even wet sand it or buff it or nothing. But I just can't get past it. Just an aggravating car. So, and then some of that black reacted funny to the white. I don't know if you can see it, it's somewhere right in here. So I have to redo that. Now the chassis of the interior, I painted the wheels gold. I'll probably just brush paint this ring around it silver, so it's actually like, it would be like that tire instead. That's what I should have did instead of doing that. The interior is real bland. The bottom is real bland. Just a little bit of engine detail. I'll probably put a wash on that to save it, but I don't know if the black paint's coming off on my hands anymore. The only cool thing I liked about this kit was the dash. Let's see. And it had some nice raised letters and some details. There's that. I figured I'd share that. And one last thing. So, started with Transition Modeler. He's showing some of his kits that he has and doing an open box review. Well, he came across he showed off one of my Holy Grail kits. And he showed one that had 3 different body style or boxes in different ways. And this one had a Revell version of it. Well, the Revell version is a lot cheaper than the Accurate Miniatures. So he ended up saving me some money and I was able to get one of my Grail kits. So this was probably about $25 cheaper, if not more, than the Accurate Miniature ones I could get. And so I'd like to thank you. And then Sean over at the Scale Model Car Guy channel, he showed one of his builds on it. And after I saw them 2 videos, I was like, well, hell, I'm gonna have to get this kit. So I finally got it. It's all in there. It got the photo etch pieces and everything. It just came today. So I'm gonna have this sitting there for a while. I'm gonna have to debate on how I'm gonna do it. Do a little research. And look and see what the real cars look like. And see what options I have. And the one gripe I have with models is there's a lot of Chevy race cars out there, but they're mostly drag race cars. And you got the Corvettes. So you have the Miracle Mods Corvettes. But you do not have really many Grand Sports like this or any kind of road racing cars that's Chevy. It's mostly Ford that's out there. And I love all cars and all that, but I want to have both, not just all the Fords. I have so many Fords road racing cars that I still have to build up, you know, like the old monogram ones. I mean, you got a monogram Mustang that's a lot like that Ford Capri Turbo. And I just wish they had more Chevy ones out there that were road racing. But it is what it is. Can't really change it. So I'll get as many as I can. So I hope you guys have a great one. Tomorrow is going to be the start of the 48-hour build. So I'll have to set all these aside and get working on it. I'm still doing the Cherry Bomb classic Tom Daniels build, and that should be a lot of fun. So alright guys, have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.